Well, welcome to the Kristi Jones Show, where it's all about living your life to the fullest. I'm a life coach, speaker, and business owner in multifamily real estate, and I've had wild success in multifamily housing for over 25 years now. I am so passionate about helping others merge their success and lead a fulfilling life, and I bring it all together right here on this podcast. So join me and let's get started to live your life to the fullest. Hey friend, it's Kristi. And before we dive into today's episode, I've got something really exciting that I want to share with you. If you've been listening and following along and you've been thinking to yourself, I am so ready for more clarity and more confidence and that momentum that I so desire to have in my life, in my career, in my business. But I need the structure. I need the accountability to actually make it happen. Then listen up. I've got something for you. On February 1st, I am launching the brand new Flourishing Edge Mentorship. It is a powerful, high-performing coaching opportunity designed for specifically the ambitious professional who wants both success and fulfillment. Without, and this is the big part, without the feelings of overwhelm, without all of the self-doubt, without that mental BS that has you playing small in your life. This is where, inside this mentorship, this is where you will build your habits, sharpen your focus, increase your confidence, eliminate the noise, and it's going to help you take that step into that next level version of yourself. That version of yourself that you can see in your mind's eye. It's that version of you that leads boldly, that walks into rooms with full confidence, knows what they have to offer, and lives fully, actually lives fully, and enjoys the life that you've worked so hard to build. So inside my mentorship, there's going to be two levels. There's two levels. There's one for steady growth and accountability and guidance. And then there's a deeper level. There's a deeper level of coaching, one with much more leadership support. There's going to be a space for you to rise inside this mentorship. So if you hear this and you're like, I want to know more. I want to be on the wait list for that. I want you to go down and scroll down into the show notes below. Just find the link below and click on that. And that's going to take you to where you can get on the wait list. No obligation, nothing like that. You'll simply start receiving the information on what this Flourishing Edge mentorship is all about. So if that's you and you're curious and you want those things, you want to step into that next version of you, and you want the support and the guidance to get there, you're ready for that next level version of your life. You need to click below, get on my wait list, and you'll be the first to learn of all the offers, the discounts, all the special promos that are going to come along with this, and more importantly, when the doors are open. So click the link below, and I look forward to seeing you there. All right, let's get into today's episode, and let's get ready to flourish in 2026. Well, hey, my friend, welcome back to the podcast and Happy New Year to you. Today's message is spot on for what we need to be focusing on and thinking about as we start this new year. I'm going to talk about deciding who you're becoming before you decide what you're going to be doing. You know, January 1st, it's got a lot of noise attached to it. It has things like big goals, bold declarations, and the pressure sometimes to have it all figured out for the year ahead. But here's what I've learned in life and in business and in leadership is that if you don't decide who you are becoming, it really does not matter what you decide to do. You have to get the clarity on who it is that you're wanting to become. You know, action without identity, it creates burnout. And goals without that clarity, it only creates frustration and confusion. So that's why so many people start January so strong, and by mid-February, they're entirely scattered, frustrated, and burned out. and often giving up on whatever goals or ambitions that they had set for themselves. So this year, let me encourage you that it doesn't need a longer to-do list. It needs a much more clearer you. So today, instead of you rushing into your resolutions, looking at your list, setting your goals, I want to help you slow down just enough so you can choose who you're becoming. Because that decision quietly sets the tone for what's going to follow this entire year for you. So thank you for being here today. Let's just jump right into it. And also, I want to let you know that this is the exact kind of work that I'm going to be doing inside the Flourishing Edge mentorship. That starts in February. If this conversation and you listening to this episode today, if this resonates with you, then you'll want to go down into the show notes, find the link, because I've got a waiting list started, and you're going to be the first to know about when the doors open. I'm also communicating with those on the waiting list more about the mentorship. So go find that in the show notes. It's no pressure. It's just for you to get on the list, to stay informed, and I'll be sending more of the details, especially as we get closer to starting, to your email inbox. So know that it's right down in the show notes. All right, so let's get into it today. I really want to talk about this deciding now who you're becoming, because it's what's going to help set the tone, the direction for you this entire year. It's like it's what paves the road. It's what gives you the clarity that's needed. You can't take action that's really going to be aligned with you unless you're really clear. And so taking this small amount of time to just pause and for you to get clear on who is it that you're wanting to become. And when I talk about that, and if you're not new here, you hear me speak very often about getting clear on your next level identity and what that next level looks like for you, what it feels like for you. It's envisioning that future self. And so when you're looking forward into the year, and you don't want to get lost in all the hype of what January brings, but you want something that's really going to bring you the results that you're wanting to experience. Not just the hype of January. You want the results that can carry you through and move you forward to help you build the life that you really desire, to have the success, the continued success, and also the fulfillment, to have a life that feels good from the inside out. So we have to start by looking at what is it that I'm wanting to become? And the more clear you get on that, the easier it is to map out your goals, to look forward, and to take what I call intentional action. So why goals with identity? Why they don't stick? Because a goal without the identity of you not being clear on who it is you're wanting to become, it's just that. It's just a lofty goal. It just doesn't hold meaning. It doesn't have purpose. It's just something that you're probably slapping down on paper because it sounds good, feels good. And, it's generally one of the things that I want to do or experience or have improvement in. But what really matters is that you get more clear on who it is that you are wanting to become. We are all evolving all the time, every single day. And we can either choose to stay the same, and you're going to get more of the same. So if you have anything in your career, in your life, in your personal life, with yourself, in your health, in your wellness, any aspect of your life, of something that, like, where you want to be and where you're at, there's a gap there, that's going to require you to show up in a different way. Because you know what you've been doing, how you've been operating, what that gives you. And so to do more of the same, maybe you've heard this before. I mean, I describe it as to do more of the same and expect a different outcome. That's just crazy town. That's absolutely crazy town. So we have to be able to get clear on who is it that I'm wanting to become? What is the business that I'm wanting to create? What is it that I'm wanting to step into? What is that next level identity? So taking the time to pause and get clear on that for yourself is going to give you goals that stick, goals that mean something. They're going to have purpose. They're going to have more value. And therefore, when it comes time to take action, to move, to actually do something to move towards that goal, to build the momentum, when it comes time to do that, you're going to follow through on that because you've taken the time to get clear on what is that identity? Who is it that you are becoming, that you desire to become? So we have to really not just rush past the fact that it doesn't matter, that we'll figure it out later. It's very important that you make the decision to quietly think about who it is that you are becoming. Otherwise, things just kind of run on autopilot. And then you look up maybe mid-year and you're going to be so frustrated. If you take this time right now to get clear, you're going to wipe out that frustration that you're going to feel, whether it's February, March, April, May, or later. So let's take this time for you to get really clear on that future version of you. I want to share really quickly. Again, if you've been around a while, then you've heard me tell the story about one of the first times in my life where I really connected the dots on this. And when I started to decide and get clear on how the person that I wanted to be, the life I wanted to be experiencing. And when I got very clear on that, none of the outer circumstances in my life supported that. This is a story that I've told before. I was, 25, 26 years old, going through a divorce, single mom, the government assistance, working 3 jobs, just trying to keep it all together and really stepping into that next level. And I had to create that vision and decide ahead of time what that was when like none of the outer circumstances supported that, which meant that when I talk about seeing that future version of you, but it's more than that. It's more than just envisioning it. It's feeling it. It's matching the energy of what you think that is. I've talked about when you're looking at the future version of you that you're wanting to step into, you need to even break it down to what are the habits that you believe that version of you would have? What does that person wake up and do in the morning? What does the beginning parts of their day look like? What's the music they listen to? What are the books that version of you? What books do they read? How do they spend their day? How do they spend their evenings? Are they just binge watching shows from 6:30 till staying up till 11 p.m.? Is that what the next level version of you does? So think about that and get clear on that. And then you start modeling those habits and behaviors now. And that is moving you to the next level version of becoming the next level version of yourself. So you have to see it, envision it, and then you have to back it up with creating those habits that person, that identity that you're looking at would be doing. And I did that. That's when I started really making that connection. So I started trying my best to show up as that version of me. And I had taken a job leasing apartments. I left the cocktail waitress job, the waitress job at Chili's, and then I was working for my mom's business, basically in marketing and just things in the office, anything computer oriented, that type of thing, helping her at the markets and the shows and things like that. So I walked away from those three to take a job leasing apartments. And quickly, when I say quickly, like within a few weeks, I really felt something inside that said, you were made for this. You can turn this into the difference maker of your life. You can build a career. You can take care of you and your son. I mean, all those things were going through my head. I really felt that. So like I just like buckled in and locked in. It really forced me to identify with that future version of myself rather than where I was at that point. So I had to step into the new habits and routines, which caused me to have like to reframe the way I thought of things and really, strengthened my mindset and really challenged my mindset on a lot of things. So I started showing up as that next level version of myself, and I started seeing results that were moving in the right direction. So that's one of my very early examples and stories that I've shared numerous times on here and also in my coaching and my group coaching program, to where that's when I started connecting the dots of it's very important to get clear on who it is I'm becoming. And then regardless of the outer circumstances, because it's not telling me, yeah, this is true, this is valid, you are capable of this. You don't have the evidence yet, but you start taking the actions and developing the habits as if that was already the facts, the truth, the way it was. So that's what I want to really encourage you today is to get clear on who it is you're becoming and why your goals without identity, why they don't stick. Now, when you get more solid in that identity, that next level version of you, your goals are going to stick. They're going to stick. Also, want to touch on the cost of chasing someone else's version of success. I've seen this play out in others' lives and in clients' lives where they're chasing a version of what they've been told or taught is success. And these are the benchmarks. And these are the things that you are supposed to want to do or become or acquire. And I caution you to not, there's just a high price to pay when you're chasing someone else's version of success. So taking this time to pause and get quiet instead of just rushing into January 1st, like with all these like frivolous goals and things that you're not even really sure why you have these objectives for the year, but you just kind of think, well, I should have them, or I'm supposed to have them, or I'm supposed to want these things. It's really important that you get clear on what is your version of success? What does that look like for you? What does that feel like? If you were to like paint the picture of what you feel is the version of success that has that's like that's what you want to experience in your life. When I talk about building the life that you truly desire, not what someone else desires for you, what does that look like? That's so unique and individual, and I think it's really so valuable when we take the time to pause to make sure that we are moving in the direction and we're also very clear on what is success, what does that mean, and what does that look like for me? Because every single one of us has a different view of that and a different version of that. And so this is not about matching someone else's version. of success. This is about you getting clarity and getting really clear and feeling confident about what your version of success is for your life. Does that alter and change as we go through different seasons of life? Absolutely, it does. And that's okay. But for right now, wherever you are in life, it's really important that you're challenging yourself and your beliefs to make sure that you are aligning your goals and your actions to what feels right for you. So there's a huge cost, huge price to pay when you are chasing someone else's version of success. So I urge you to pause and to take this time that I'm, nudging you into to slow down just enough to choose who you are becoming. When you're choosing who you're becoming, that sets the tone for the rest of the year. And I know all of us, especially high performers and you high achievers that are tuning in, you like to have direction, you like to have a roadmap, you understand like you're going to have to like be flexible as you move through the year, but majority of you, and I hear from you often, is that you want to have a game plan, knowing that you might have to alter the game plan, but you want a game plan. You just don't want to wake up and throw spaghetti on the wall every day and see what's going to happen. So when we are choosing who we're becoming and getting clear on that next level identity of ourselves, it helps you set the tone for the year. It gives you that direction that you're so yearning for at this time. And know that it is about doing more. It's about becoming more intentional. And when we take intentional action, often you'll hear me say aligned action. That is when you get massive results. And it's taking action that it actually feels good to you. You're moving in a direction that is in alignment with that next level version of yourself. So let's dive into some of I call these grounding questions. And you can come back to these or, take notes on these or just save this episode so you can come back to this. Because I realize I'm giving you a lot of things to think about today. But you might save this episode and then come back to these specific questions. I've got two or three of them I'm going to toss out to you. And knowing that who you're becoming, that next level version of you, that identity that you are framing up for yourself, that determines how you lead. That determines how you make decisions. That determines how you show up all year long. So let me toss these questions to you. And then, when you have more time, you can maybe journal on these or, just do some quiet thinking on it. Ask yourself, what am I done carrying forward? And these are questions to help you decide who you want to become. Who are you becoming? So when you decide who you're becoming and you are able to get more clear on that next level of yourself, it will help you decide your goals. It will help you get more clear on what actions to take. So that's why we're going through these questions. So ask yourself, what am I done carrying forward? And that can extend to habits, expectations, maybe roles that you play. And we all have roles that we play in our lives. We're mothers, fathers, daughters, co-worker, friend. Maybe you're a boss, you're a leader. What we all have different roles, both personally and professionally. But are they roles that you want to carry forward? Sometimes we just adopt different situations, roles, or even buy into stories that we just continue to carry them forward, but they're not aligned with us. It's not moving in the direction that we are wanting for our life. So ask yourself, what am I done carrying forward? What are stories that no longer fit who I am becoming? What are storylines? That's another word I like to put with it. What are storylines that are attached to me that I keep putting on myself, but it's not aligned with who I am becoming? Do you have any of those? Most likely you do. I know back when I first started, like when the story I told you, back when I was 25, 26, the first time that I decided to to go this direction, to be her before I was really her, that next level version of me. But when I started to show up every day in my life like I was, and I believed I was, I realized that there were storylines in my head that did not fit with who I was becoming. They were like expired, it was like expired milk. You got to throw it out. You know how you go through the fridge sometimes? I just recently did this and I looked at like every single thing that was on that refrigerator door. Is your refrigerator door packed like mine was? It has things that were expired, sauces, salad dressings, milk we all kind of look at. Those things, like I feel like most of us, like we pay attention to that stuff. But there's things like salad dressings, marinades for beef and steaks and chicken and barbecue sauces and all the condiments. I don't look at those expiration dates as often. And you probably don't either. But I did. And I was like, I actually make it a habit now because I'm like, I don't want to eat, expired stuff. So, but the stuff on the refrigerator door, like we all acquire crap in the refrigerator and we're not paying attention to those expiration dates. And so it really doesn't fit any longer. Doesn't really have a place. Once it's expired, it needs to go, right? Throw out the expired milk, throw out the expired salad dressing because it doesn't fit anymore. Same thing for these stories that we carry, these roles, these habits that we're lugging around that no longer fit or go with that next level identity of ourself. So, what are you done carrying forward? It's time for it to go. Second question, what deserves my energy this year? In this season of my life? See, that changes. It changes as you've changed, as your life has changed, as your circumstances have changed, as your life has evolved. Where you give your energy, that changes. So, what deserves your energy this season of your life, this year? Not everything, I can tell you that. Everything that you think needs your energy, it doesn't need your energy. Oftentimes, we keep giving time and energy to things that are dead, to situations that are dead, that are no longer, that we're just kind of making ourselves feel better, that we're trying to toss some energy at something that really is done. It's over. That ship has sailed. Not everything you think deserves your time and then your energy. It doesn't. That's you and a lot of false false narratives and false stories that sometimes you have built up. Sometimes people, they love to feel needed, and some personalities they want to feel like they pull a lot of maybe I want to use the word importance, but a lot of self-worth in the concept that I'm needed, and so they feel like that their energy is needed everywhere, everybody, and not everybody needs it. Not everybody deserves it, first of all. And you have to know that you, your energy is a commodity, your time. And when you spread yourself so thin and you give absolutely everybody and everything your energy, that you're pulling from the things that you could be giving your energy to that actually align with you, that actually align with where you're headed. And so all this other energy that you're giving to things that are no longer aligned with the life that you're creating, with that person that you're becoming, with that next level life that you're building, you have to get, you kind of just have to dial in and get real clear on what aligns with where I'm headed. So ask yourself that question today. The third question for you to consider is, who do I need to be more of this year? Who do I need to be more of this year? Do I need to be a more calm leader? Do I need to be a more present parent? Do I need to be a more decisive professional? Do I need to be just a more grounded version of myself? Do I need to be more consistent? Decide in this pause time that I'm encouraging you to lean into, decide what you need to be more of this year. You know, this is going, when you decide what it is that you need to be more of, you are taking direction and leaning into more just like aligned direction over just speed of doing something. Decide what you need to be more of this year. What is that next level version of you? If you were to be her or be him today, what would he be more of? Would he be a more thoughtful leader? Would he be a more decisive person? Would she be a more calm, centered, introspective leader? What would that be for you? And this ties into how we show up in leadership, how we show up in our career, if you're running a business or leading a business. And this also gives you, it just gives you more clarity over, so you don't feel as scattered. It gives you more clarity over how to structure your energy. I just talked about where you put your time and your energy. When you decide what I need to be more of this year, like what do I want to have more of? What for myself, those parts of you that you want to bring more to the surface. What is that? What is that? You know, as January brings on pressure to do more, I'm wanting you instead to think of, what do I want more of within me? We're not just talking busyness here. We're not just talking like just to stay busy. You know, you're staying busy, but you're not productive. I mean, that constant busyness, but you're not ever making traction. Real momentum starts somewhere else. So I hope that by slowing down and slowing down to focus and ask yourself these really valuable questions, that you're actually creating more clarity for yourself and you're getting more confidence, deciding who you are becoming. That is what's going to set the tone for the rest of the year. So as you step into this year, remember that you don't have to rush. You don't have to rush through it. It's not about proving anything. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. Decide who you're becoming. Let that version of you lead the way forward. If you want guidance, if you want structure, if you want support, you can do that. And I'd love to work with you. I have the Flourishing Edge Mentorship, and it starts in February. If this message has resonated with you or it sparked your interest, this is just a fraction of the work that we do inside that mentorship. And I've got 2 different levels of mentorship. And so if you go to the link down below in the show notes, it will take you to the waiting list. And no obligation, you just get on the waiting list and then you'll start getting information, more information on what's inside this mentorship and what are these 2 levels. And how do I know when the doors are going to open? When does it start? So if you get on the waiting list, all of that will be sent to you and you'll stay in the know. And we start in February. So until then, my friend, I hope to see you show up on the waiting list. And I want you to lead yourself well. I want you to lead yourself well and decide who you are becoming so you can move forward into this new year with so much confidence, so much clarity, and so much momentum. Until then, I will see you back here next week. Have the best week. Take care. I want to thank you for tuning in today to the podcast, and I hope you've enjoyed the conversation and all the info that's been shared today. And I hope you've come away with a few ideas on how to make the most out of it for your life. If you loved this episode, be sure to share it with your friends and family. And also make sure you subscribe to the podcast and tap that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Also, it would mean the absolute world to me if you would leave a podcast review. So until next time, my friend, keep flourishing and thriving and live your life to the